Okay, guys, look at this. Snow in Salvage, Texas. In our canyons, on the canyon walls. There's the freedom. It's frozen and censorship begins. For the moment, have faith. Ship of Salvaged Dreams. Indeed, even in the midst of cold, brings hope. Hey guys, I don't know what you've been doing, but I've been watching, kind of wondering what the heck is going on. Well, that snow, that freezing, well, it's like the blackouts in Pakistan, blackout at the Vatican. Yeah, all the lights went out. Personally, I think that's kind of good, given the satellite, Leonardo, that carried all the information about the elections and took it to Pakistan, back to us, and changed those elections by 100,000 votes. Well, two of them simultaneously, 10:30 to 11:30 at night, the honeypot. And then we went into the Capitol. Well, I shouldn't say we, because it wasn't me, but the Antifa did, and a few other people who took those certain particular laptops they needed for the evidence to tie Pelosi and the group into all of this, unfortunately, insurrection. For those of you who don't know, the Insurrection Act may have been signed. The military then takes over, but we can blame it on Trump. He said there's been a coup attempt. Our country is at war. How did that happen? Just like all this happened, it happened with intention. Somebody set up a plan and went out and did it. And they got caught. So, I just want to throw this in there before I get knocked off. It's part of the censorship of what's going on to try to empower people. Stand up for what's right. Truth. That's the only thing that's right, guys. You can't believe in God and not believe in truth. You can't love and not believe in truth. If you think you can love to your liar, lie to your children, love to your spouse and lie to your spouse, no, you can't do that. Truth. So, now that we've had a bunch of people exemplify what it means to not be truthful, to go along with the lie, to create the lie, well, I'm praying, like many, and I've never been into politics. I don't give a crap. You want to call it Republican, you want to call it whatever you want, as long as it's espousing truth, freedom, the right for free speech. Yes, me to be able to get on here right now and say this and not be banned, censored, not be shut down. And I have been shadow banned, couldn't figure out why. I stand up for the Second Amendment. I stand up for tiny houses as a means of getting free of a system that was basically enslaving everybody in debt, the banks. And they're evil. I have fought those battles. And I continue. I want to ask everybody, stay peaceful. So long as you're not being attacked, don't attack. But just like Jesus said, if you do not own a sword, sell your robe, buy a sword. He was an activist. We have to be active, guys. We can't just sit here and watch our incredible country, where diversity was possible, be taken away. I don't want it controlled. I don't want, nor do I much care about a social score. But there are a lot of people it's going to hurt. We need to get back to the basics, guys. And I assure you, we cannot get there without truth. This is my pond over here, one of my ponds I made. imagination, trash. It's called Pond House. My creations have been going on now for some 10, 15 years on my quest, lifelong, as Darby, to bring we, W-I-I, all of us eyes together. Once upon a time, this land I just showed you, once upon a time, it looked like that. Pretty much flat, denuded for cattle, trees taken down, turned into fields. We just can't keep doing that. So this is turned back into a place where a lot of different things can happen. People can live here, food can grow here, and simple lives, small houses. Here's another view, that's Pond House. That's actually just built on a pond. The second floor up there I got to finish. A little sleeping area, more of a glamping space, but again, demonstrating how we can use our imagination to create solutions. This is our target area. When you come to Salvage, Texas, you can throw knives and axes and other instruments to learn how to defend yourself, to learn how to take care of yourself and your family in many ways. How to build a house out of salvage, how to grow food out of what would have been considered at one time a deserted wasteland with 3 foot of iron clay on top that would grow nothing. Now we have water flowing, ponds, grasses, and it's wintertime, but that's bloodweed, native grains, all that stuff can be grown. But somebody has to demonstrate that. So my task is one of the many light beings out there trying to make a difference, trying to shine a light on a path of peace, of prosperity. It's very important. Very important, the more of us get out here and speak, in spite of the danger, in spite of being banned, shadow banned, in spite of all the issues, we must speak up. One of the things I found along my ways was this very incredible little stone. Karma. You ever heard of karma? This is a different version. Karma. Karma Chablis. October 14th, 1957. Just a couple years after I was born. October 14th, 1957. We're born with karma. A job, dharma, a purpose, meaning to our lives. Some people live a long time. 1855. 1938. Winston. And where are you now, Winston? On the other side of the veil. We all come for a short time. Incarnate, we have a chance to make a difference for those that follow. We can do that, but only through action. That's another pond. That's called Ghost Rider Pond. One of my ponds. We have many where none existed. That's what we're trying to do. To create ponds of life, of love, of positive thinking. Vortexes around the world where people can get together and share their diversity without being censored, without being attacked. That's what this is supposed to be about, guys. So, this little video, I'm so censored now, probably won't be seen by about 100 people. But my following of 72,000 people around the world, they'll never see it. I've spent decades now trying to create a story about what one crippled poor kid could do with a broken back without any real opportunity. That'd be me. And now at 65, having failed to commit suicide when I was a little kid. I want to tell kids that are thinking about it, don't give up. We're going to win. We're going to create a planet you'd be proud to be here for. But I need you to stick around. All you guys that don't think you got a purpose in life, I didn't either. It's about 18, 20 foot deep over here. That's all water that exists now. Ponds that go back with birds all around. There were no birds like that. See them over there? Hear them? In the cold, they've got a place to stay. They've got grain all over from the sorghum I planted. They've got water, they got food. They got a chance in this snow, in this cold. It's not a parking lot where they can't eat anything off the poles because the bugs are dead. They were killed by the lights in the parking lots. No, it's back to nature. I had to put this here because they put up a truck stop and all the bugs would have left and died over there in the lights. So I built light barriers and noise barriers and waterways and grasses and places we can show and prove this is possible. And it's possible without having a lot of money, although I've been gifted through my hard work. I have assets and I want to share those with everybody. I want other people doing this. I have literally nearly 200,000 square foot warehouses full of windows and doors and floors and everything it takes to make more pure salvage outposts like this. To make more places where you can go into the ground, you can go above the ground, like the observers are doing with a campground and a place to get away out west. I have done that out here in Texas. But to find the people that you would want to share that with, that would respect it, that would honor truth. Wow. Now that's another ballgame. It looks like we're still going. I'm still talking. I doubt many people are listening. I see a couple on there. Ian, thank you. Guys, we don't know how long we're going to be here. We never do. But I'll be damned if I'm going down without some sort of fight for a country I believe in. As a veteran. As the son of a veteran. German born. American through and through. But I'm also an earthling. And as an earthling, I have to stand apart and say, look, America, we need to reform. We need to change. I came back from Germany and saw everybody believing that Kennedy had been shot by a lone gunman in a window. Bullshit. I had an expert marksman medal and trained at 13 years old how to tear that weapon down that he used, and there's no way a human being could have done what they claimed he did. And so from my childhood on, broken back, crippled, treated like a kraut, because that's what they called me. After the war in Michigan, they didn't like Germans very much. So hey, here is what I've done. Here is what you can do. The Ship of Salvaged Dreams. I built that in 11 evenings. No nails. No helpers to speak of. Although Trinity did carry some bags of cement up to the top. Made out of trash. No nails. Just screws. So you can say, yeah. Haha. People. These are my ponds. The canal goes back to my house. Runs around and back. All the way around and back again behind my house and to the other side. This, my friends, is an earthen fort circa 1100. Another time when these battles went on. And we lost. I don't plan to lose this time, guys. Some says we're going to win. Have faith. Believe in the truth. Have faith and stand up instead of kneel down. not BLM, not Antifa, not anyone who would do what those who would ask that of you would do. They would kill you if they don't get their way. I walked through Dachau in Germany where they burned people, cremated them, when I was 12 years old. I've seen things most young people never see. I've seen things old people don't see. I've been beaten. I've been poor enough to eat out of dumpsters to survive. I've been rich enough to buy whatever I wanted with my signature. I've been blessed and rich enough to have a child, my son. And I was blessed to know in advance that he'd be taken from me. And I say I was blessed because that's what gave me the proof that I needed, that there is fate, there is destiny, and there is a reason for doing all this. And it's not for me, no. It's for that generation my son was in. He was murdered in France, most likely by kids whose parents had been bombed and killed by American bombs in other countries. I'll never have any evidence for sure, but I do know this. We can't keep doing this. We can't keep killing people. For all the money I've ever had, that's the best place I've ever lived. And that's my home. No running water inside, don't need it. I got a bathroom up front, kitchen's up front. No electricity other than a little fan. Happiest I've ever been. I sleep on a bed hanging from the ceiling with ropes. Never slept better. I don't know what to tell y'all, but as I get up here to my pond, my best and highest pond, Temple Tantra, this goes off that way into the perimeter, and you can see the pastures that once existed are now ponds and life. That can all be done, man. We can bring back what was an industrial waste dump and turn it into a paradise. We can convert wastelands that were stripped for cattle and turn them back into a paradise for all the critters, the birds, foxes, raccoons, as hard as it is to keep them away from my chickens. But that's all part of nature. And that's what we're supposed to be here for. Guys, I keep getting messed up here. It's raining, snowing, sleeting, whatever you call it. It's a rare thing down here. But then it's rare that we have an insurrection in our country. It's rare that our president should have to sign an Insurrection Act and hand over the controls to the military so they can go out and fix a horrible wrong that has been going on for a long time, guys. I understand when the Rockefellers got in the 50s and created the shadow government and then boxed out the presidents. Things changed. Here we are. There's the Bridge Over Untroubled Waters as it's being built. The Ark. The Ginger Swan. More ponds. And I'm about to take you down. Down. And I mean down. If we don't slip, you're going to see this water level. That's not the highest. There's another higher pond. And then the one I started at, Temple Tantra. That's even higher. So, as I go down into the first earth sculpture I ever did. This earth sculpture was done after my son passed away. Called A Hole in My Heart. How big, how deep can it go? I don't know if you can see. And I'll lose connection by the time I get to the bottom. But I'm going to go down my hole. And I'm going to say hi to a future that I want to believe I would have given my son. One that's going to be honest, true, and free for the other kids. Someday,